Good day, I'm Peter Spoerer and we're here in the White Horse Works. Today we are going to radio control a fine scale brass Duchess locomotive. And we're going to be doing it with the new Omni 2.0 transmitter. We're going to fit sound and I'm going to take us stage by stage through how it's done. So you'll be able to do it with your fine scale brass locomotive as well. The first thing we're going to do is read the instructions. If you don't read the instructions, you'll be missing out on a great deal. I take a lot of time to write these instructions stage by stage so you can get it right. Read the instructions, please. You'll be surprised how little tools you need to do this job. If you look down here on the bench, all you need is a small crosshead screwdriver, a medium one, a little crook pair of tweezers are very useful, and lastly of all you do need to have one drill just to drill the smoke box hole. The last thing you're going to need, and this is important, is a padded frame. This simply has a rag wrapped in foam in a wooden frame. You could use a pillow, and into this we put the locomotive. Look at this, you can pick them up by the centre wheel quite successfully. And just place it into the frame. Just to stop it wobbling around, just two little bits of bubble wrap. And there it is, nice and secure, beautifully padded, ready for us to work on. Also a very good idea is to have a tray to put components in, and also you can put your tools in the tray so they don't get lost and scattered all over the bench. I've also got a little plastic lid here, and into this I'm going to be putting the screws so I don't lose them. Well, here are all the components that we're going to be fitting inside the Duchess. To start with, there's a very large 19.2 volt battery pack, a fuse. There's the switch frame that's going to go inside the smoke box. Here is the control unit, this Viper 10 speed controller, high voltage, a sound card, and here is the new Omni receiver with the long aerial. And of course the Omni transmitter. Well, the first thing the instructions tell me to do is to remove the front bogie. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a centre screw here. You just loosen it and place it immediately into our tray along with the little screw. The next thing I've got to do now is to remove the chassis from the body. It's secured by two screws at the front and two screws at the back. If you're fitted with a speedometer, you will also need to remove that. So here we are at the front, between the cylinders, and we use the tweezers, as you can see here, to grip the screws. And by using this little tweezer, if you've got a magnetic screwdriver, it can come out on the end of the screwdriver. And we make sure that we keep our little components in the tray. So here we are doing the screws at the back. Ooh, I should have done that by a magnet, shouldn't I? And the next one. That's it. So now the screws are undone, we pull the pipes to one side and remove the chassis. The first job we've done is to fit the motor plug wire to the two terminals on the motor. And now we're going to take it across to the battery and the rest of the radio control system. So we're now ready to do the first systems check. All the equipment is laid out and we've connected the speed controller to the motor. The chassis is set up on chocks so that we can set everything up. First we turn on the transmitter, then we turn on the locomotive, and when we turn the control knob, the wheels should now work. And backwards, everything's working beautifully. So now we're ready to put all this into the body of the loco. Now for some metal bashing. We've got to drill a hole in the underside of the boiler to mount the switch frame on. First of all, we just ding a line, a spot between the two screw mounting holes exactly in the centre. We then take our drill and drill a 2mm hole first. After the 2mm, a 3.5mm. To finish it off, a 6mm bit to countersink. There we go. The instructions now tell me I've got to assemble the switch frame and the wiring loom on the battery. Everything is plug and play, and there are two little clips mounted on the battery to hold the wires in place. This is so the power goes forward to the smoke box for turning on and off. And that now is ready for assembly into the locomotive. You see there's the light going on and off, and there's the charging socket. This will now go into the speed controller. So now we're going to fit the battery into the boiler. We open up the smoke box door, take hold of the battery, and in she goes. Finally finishing up with the switch frame going in. So we put it into the padded frame. As you can see, here is the battery and the lead coming through. So now we've got to put the switch frame inside the smoke box, and you can see just here, this is where the hole that we drilled previously, and we have a screw which is going to go down there and engage into the screw hole there. So we've got to put the switch frame inside the smoke box, and if we take hold of the switch with a pair of tweezers, we can now present it to the hole. So you can see the switch frame moving on the inside, held with a pair of pliers. And now if we get hold of the screw and pop it in the hole and engage it with the switch frame. That's good. So there's the switch frame mounted in the smoke box, and just here you can see that there's the screw nice and flush, and it doesn't interfere with anything. Don't forget to shut the smoke box door because it can easily get damaged. You can see there's the battery, and here is the wire that comes from the switch frame. What we've got to do now is to secure this battery into place, and that's done with these wedges of foam. And we simply place them into the boiler and feed them in. And we've got lots more to put in there, slowly pushing them in to place, and then in the sides, and in the sides again, and using a blunt knitting needle you can push them really firmly up inside, and now that battery is firmly in place. Now that we've fitted the battery and the boiler packing into the battery, we must now fit the complete electronics module, and I've strapped them all together with a little strap. So here is the receiver, the speed controller, and in the center a sound card in the sandwich, and of course the speaker on the right. This is where the power goes to the motor, this is where the power comes in, and this is the little infrared eye that I'll be demonstrating later that communicates with the sound card. So we'll put this now into the firebox. First of all, we just peel off the double-sided stickies. These foam pads are immensely useful for lodging them into place. This is the power from the front switch frame, and we plug it into there. And now we bring this down inside and put it right in the top. Sorry if my hands are getting in the way of the firebox. And believe you me, that double-sided sticky is now absolutely secure. Look, I can lift that one up and down by that now. Now we're going to fit the speaker in. Once again, double-sided tape off. Feed it in and pop it on top of the battery. There we go. To secure the speaker into place, I'm using these aluminium wire clips that come supplied with the kit. You stick them to the inside wall of the firebox and then press the aluminium arm down, and that's now very securely into place. Just going to take the aerial, and we've just got to feed it up through this gap on this particular locomotive. It's got a rather complicated backhead. So there's the aerial, and here's the infrared eye, and when the chassis is on, that's going to live there, and the aerial is going to live there, like that. To secure the loose wires here, I'm just taking one of the wire clips that are supplied with the kit, firmly sticking it to the side of the wall, and then just pop the wires into the wire clip, and it'll stop them getting in the way of the electric motor. Just bend the little claws over, and that's the wheel wires all nicely and secured. This is the wire that will now go to the motor. There's the infrared eye, and that's the aerial. So just last double check to make everything is nice and secure. The motor plug wire is plugged into the motor. Carefully pick up the chassis. Now we've got to feed the aerial wire up through here, and also the infrared eye. Make sure this motor plug wire doesn't get in any way. Feed around the pumps, and she drops down into place. Good. So now we just got to return the chassis screws to hold them in place, and we can either use the tweezers to locate the screws like this. Do you notice I don't do it all the way up, just locate them. Another way is to use a magnetic screwdriver, and they stay in place. But you don't do it all the way. There's the rear ones. Now we come to the front and do the same again at the front. And now they're located, we do the vinegar strokes and finish off the screws. There we go. So all we have to do now is to return the front bogie on. I don't know if you notice, when I do a screw up, I don't do it with my hand. It's just done with the fingers. You just do them up like that. That's all that's necessary. Well, the last thing we've got to do is to secure the aerial and the infrared eye for the sound card to this plate on the bottom. It will have to cover the screws. So I just remove the self-adhesive. These are really, really good, these little wire clips. They're extremely strong. So that's the little self-adhesive plate wire clips in place. Now we simply just bend them over. There's the infrared eye pointing down at the track. And this is the aerial. And we want the aerial to get a bit of daylight if we can. Some locomotives have some brake rods that you can attach them to. But, oh dear. I should have done that one first. That's it. That one second. Right, and there's the aerial ready to receive the signal. And there's the infrared eye ready to receive the signal. Now we're ready for the first check on the wheels. If you want to pick it up from the underside, you can grip it firmly by the centre wheels, not the con rods, but by the wheels. And turn it over. And we're ready for our third systems check on its own wheels. So we'll open up the firebox door. Turn on our transmitter. Turn on the locomotive. We've got a whistle. And we've got action. So here we have the locomotive fully assembled and ready for its first check out on the track. If you'd like to see that, go to my next video. Bye bye, thank you for watching.